My dear, when you say we need to talk, I brace for storms I never invited. We need to talk is the silence screaming louder than any fight ever could. Those 3 words carry a universe of unsaid truths and broken promises. Sometimes we need to talk is a farewell disguised in fragile hope. I wait for the words you fear, the ones that will redefine us. We need to talk. The heartbreak's opening line before the silence crushes. The moment you say, we need to talk, the past turns into a question mark. We need to talk means love is at a crossroads and fear walks beside it. When conversations start with, we need to talk, innocence begins to fade. The weight of we need to talk sinks deeper than the quiet that follows. We need to talk is the first crack in the mirror of what we once were. When love whispers we need to talk, hearts brace for the truth's sting. We need to talk is the prelude to an emotional avalanche you never saw coming. Sometimes we need to talk is a prayer for clarity through the fog of pain. Behind we need to talk hides a soul desperate to be heard before it breaks. We need to talk. The softest words that tear the loudest holes inside. That phrase is a gate closing, or maybe one waiting to open. Only time tells. We need to talk means the script of us is about to be rewritten or erased. Love's trembling voice saying, we need to talk, is both a warning and a hope. The pause after we need to talk holds more weight than any confession. We need to talk often means the heart is fighting a war it can't win alone. When we need to talk comes brace for the love that's either dying or being reborn. We need to talk is a riddle wrapped in silence, begging to be solved. Those words sound like an ending, but maybe they're the start of healing. When we need to talk trembles on your lips, so does the fate of us. We need to talk often means the soul is bleeding in words not yet spoken. The hardest conversations begin with, we need to talk, but truth demands it. We need to talk is the moment love strips bare its most vulnerable wounds. That phrase is a fragile bridge between what was and what could be. We need to talk is love's last gasp or its first breath anew. Every we need to talk hides 1,000 I'm scareds beneath the surface. When you say we need to talk, you hold the pen that writes our fate. We need to talk is the universe's whisper demanding honesty between hearts. The quiet after we need to talk screams louder than any broken vow. We need to talk feels like drowning in words, hoping for air in truth. Those words are the heartbreak's gatekeeper or the healing's messenger. We need to talk is love's way of saying it can no longer stay silent. Sometimes we need to talk is love's gentle way of setting us free. That phrase shakes the foundations of everything, begging for courage to stand. We need to talk means the fragile thread between us is taut with tension. Behind we need to talk hides a heart trembling on the edge of goodbye. We need to talk is the storm warning before calm or chaos descends. That phrase is the universe asking, are we still us or strangers now? We need to talk is the echo of a love story rewriting its last chapters. When you say, we need to talk, I hear all the words left unsaid. We need to talk is love's test. Can we survive truth or will it break us? That phrase drips with hope and dread in equal, unbearable measure. We need to talk is the pause where everything changes or nothing ever will. Those words carry the weight of lost dreams and uncertain tomorrows. We need to talk is the heartbreak's first step and the healing's last. The moment you say, we need to talk, reality tears at the edges of fantasy. We need to talk means love is trying to breathe through clenched fists. That phrase is a confession hidden behind careful lips and trembling hearts. We need to talk is the soft crack in the armor of forever. Behind those words lies the question, is this the end or a new beginning? We need to talk is love's fragile thread unraveling or tightening. Those words shake the foundation of us, demanding either truth or silence. We need to talk feels like watching love's flame flicker on the edge of wind. The silence after we need to talk screams louder than any argument. We need to talk means we are standing at love's fragile cliff. Those words open wounds or close doors, depending on the honesty that follows. We need to talk is love's way of saying it can no longer hide. That phrase is the knife's edge between heartbreak and healing. We need to talk is the last breath before the fall or the first step to rise. Those words carve truth into the fragile bones of us. We need to talk means love demands its scars be seen, felt, and healed. That phrase is the universe urging us to choose love over fear. We need to talk is the trembling heartbeat of a love unsure of tomorrow. Those words are a call to courage in the face of vulnerability. We need to talk holds the power to shatter or save what remains. That phrase is the quiet before a storm or the calm before peace. We need to talk is love's raw plea for honesty in shadows. Those words are the mirror reflecting everything we've avoided until now. We need to talk means we stand at the edge of the familiar and unknown. That phrase demands we either confront our truths or live in silence. We need to talk is the soul's whisper urging us toward clarity or closure. Those words carry the weight of hearts breaking and hearts hoping. We need to talk is love's fragile thread stretched thin by fear and desire. That phrase is a sacred invitation to face pain and find peace. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. We need to talk means love is screaming beneath the calm, begging to be heard. Those words are the crossroads where love's fate hangs by a thread. We need to talk is the ghost of all conversations we feared to have. That phrase holds both the weight of grief and the promise of healing. We need to talk is love's way of breaking the silence that suffocates. Those words crack open hearts so truth can pour through the fissures. We need to talk demands we look beyond pain to find the pulse of us. That phrase is the heartbeat of vulnerability, pulsing through fragile love. We need to talk means we can no longer pretend nothing's broken inside. Those words are a prayer for courage before the inevitable unraveling. We need to talk carries the fear of loss and the hope for rebirth. That phrase is the fragile bridge between goodbye and a second chance. We need to talk means love is raw, exposed, and waiting for truth. Those words pull at the threads of what we thought was unbreakable. We need to talk is the quiet storm stirring beneath love's fragile surface. That phrase demands honesty when silence would be easier to bear. We need to talk is the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning. Those words are the universe nudging us to face what we avoid most. We need to talk is love's final plea before the silence becomes permanent. That phrase carries the power to break us or set us free. Choose wisely. We need to talk. Echoes like a heartbeat fading. Fragile, urgent, impossible to ignore. Those words shake the foundation, demanding we either rebuild or walk away. We need to talk means love is unraveling its secrets, no matter how painful. That phrase is a confession wrapped in trembling fear and fragile hope. We need to talk is love's quiet surrender or fierce battle cry. Those words force us to face what we've been running from inside ourselves. We need to talk pulls the curtain back on illusions we held too tightly. That phrase is the fragile thread tying past love to uncertain futures. We need to talk means the heart demands truth beyond comfort or denial. Those words are a whispered plea to mend what silence has broken. We need to talk is the crossroads where love either falters or finds wings. That phrase carries the weight of all we refused to say before. We need to talk reveals the cracks where vulnerability seeps through. Those words ask if love is enough to survive the truth it hides. We need to talk is the fragile dance between heartbreak and healing's first step. That phrase is a mirror reflecting the love we're too scared to lose. We need to talk means love is raw, exposed, and begging for light. Those words strip away the masks we wear to hide our deepest fears. We need to talk is a sacred invitation to honesty and transformation. That phrase is the first breath of clarity after long, suffocating silence. We need to talk holds the power to destroy or to rebuild from ashes. Those words tremble with all the love still fighting beneath the cracks. We need to talk is the delicate thread between holding on and letting go. That phrase carries the weight of love's most difficult and necessary truths. We need to talk means the story of us is about to change forever. Those words are a soft thunderclap shaking the foundations of our hearts. We need to talk is love bleeding words it couldn't say in silence. That phrase asks us to choose between fear and the hope of healing. We need to talk is the soul's urgent call to face what hides beneath. Those words hold the fragile promise of endings and beginnings intertwined. We need to talk breaks the quiet to uncover all the things left unsaid. That phrase is a raw confession carved into the bones of our love. We need to talk means love is bleeding truth, fragile but unyielding. Those words hold the storm and the calm within a single breath. We need to talk is the pivot point where love must choose its path.